Of the week's new releases, 16 Blocks, the Bruce Willis thriller. Basically an upmarket B-movie with a budget, directed by Richard Donner. Very simple B-movie style plot. Bruce Willis is a down-at-heel alcoholic. He's been referred to in some reviews as middle-aged, but he's not middle-aged. He's kind of retirement-age cop who, at the end of a very bad day and a very bad night and a very bad morning, is charged with a very simple job, picking up a prisoner, played by Mos Def. Mos Def. How are we referring to him?
Most Def.
Most Def.
It's very straightforward.
But is that as in like most definitely? Is that because that's not his real name? His real name is actually like Bertrand Schnibble. It is. It's something like that. He's not called Mos Def. Anyway,
Most Def is fine. Yes.
Okay.
As in most definitely.
How hard can it be? And yet, of course, being the movie, it's incredibly hard because during that 16 blocks in which he has to get the guy to be able to testify, he is stopped by any number of people, led by David Morse as a crooked cop. And I'm not giving anything away because this is explained very early at the beginning, that what Mos Def is being taken to do is to testify against some crooked cops. And David Morse doesn't want him to get there. And they think that Bruce Willis is just going to roll over and play ball with them. But of course, this being the movie, Bruce decides that he is finally going to make a stand and he is going to make sure that Mos Def gets to testify. So he's going to travel the 16 blocks and all manner of stuff happens en route. Now, on the good front, I like Willis. I think he is an interesting actor. He is more than just an action hero. As you know, you look back through his career, you look at things like Mortal Thoughts, you look at Death Becomes Her, you look at Sixth Sense. You know, you look at Breakfast of Champions. He has always been more than just an action hero, although that's always what he's made his money for. Obviously, the director is an action director, and so consequently, about 2/3 of the way through the movie, it does descend into action heroics which it doesn't need. There is also, I have to say, an absolutely appalling final act, which is one of those, we've written ourselves into a hole, how are we going to solve it? And I'm not going to give the ending away, but let me just say at this point, any movie that begins with a guy holding a tape recorder, I mean, it's like, I'm waving a flag here. You know how this is going to work out, okay?
It's like, as you've mentioned many times, if someone coughs...
Yes, they are going to be a stiff by the end of the second act. It's just, how are you? No, I'm fine. It's just some... No, it isn't. No one coughs in movies unless they're terminal. No one has a tape recorder in a movie unless it's going to be used in the final act. Sorry, there we go. However, en route, there is some fun to be had. There is a nice chemistry between Bruce Willis and Mos Def, but the whole thing is stolen by David Morse. David Morse is just a terrific actor, and he's the gum-chewing bad cop, and he really gives it some edge. So you've got 2/3 of an all-right film, 1/3 of a very bad film. It can't quite decide whether it's a B movie or an A movie, but it's perfectly passable, and it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Mos Def,
yes,
by the way, his real
Bertrand
name is...
Schnibble.
No, Dante Terrell Smith.
There you go.
Now, just think, if you've been given Dante as a first name, that is fantastic.
It is great, isn't it?
Anyway, the person you might have been confusing him with is Vanilla Ice, whose real name is Robert Van Winkle.
It's not, is it? You know, the most scary thing is that Randy Van Warmer really is called Randy Van Warmer.